Good afternoon. It's Michelle Thompson with Now Resistant Vision Coaching and Consulting. And I'm going to talk about elections. I know we're exhausted from the presidential elections that happened in 2020. There's still ongoing mishigas related to that. But between hmm, between Hurricane Ida, and Texas's decision to go psycho on abortions, and actually in many southern states making a decision to curtail voting rights targeted at BIPOC folk, it is not too early for us to start thinking about elections. It is not too early for us to. Well, number one, it's been interesting listening to CNN today. I haven't had a lot of time to do that because I've been teaching most of the day. But it's been really interesting hearing them say the words climate emergency, that they're saying that the climate emergency is here. We can't put it off anymore. It's now in people's basements, in places you never would have thought. I don't live that far from the major Deegan Highway. It's underwater right now. There are parts of Philly that are underwater right now. You know, Louisiana is a wreck and it's unbearably hot and there's no electricity. The climate emergency is here, and we cannot afford to have any more politicians who are in hock to people who are to companies that are determined to use fossil fuels. Okay, so that's issue number one. Because if issue number one goes down the way it looks like it's going to, who like Texas can take their abortion thing and stuff it, and we won't be around for them to enforce it. That's really what we're talking about, right? So number two, the way that you treat women is the way that you treat the environment. And if you think that women are just to be used however you want, and then we have to bear the impact of how we get used, we've got problems. We've got big problems. And then thirdly, to make sure that people won't show up at the polls to get rid of your ass when we don't agree with you, that's not going to work. It's not too early to think about midterms. So here are my questions. Here are my action items. Number one, it's time to see who's running for your local representatives, both in the city, the state, the county level, all of them, and the federal level, and to see what are their policies about climate change. What are their policies about fossil fuels and eliminating fossil fuels? That's question number one. Question two, you want to know what are their policies towards women, right? If they don't give a damn about whether you were forced to bring a child to term or not, and they're not going to actually support you to handle that child, it's time to vote them out. So, number one, it's time to start examining people's records. Number two, there are so many ways that we can start getting involved right now, and I will later add in the links ways that you can do it. You can write letters to people, and so if you're good with your representatives, we can advocate in other places. We can write letters to people to encourage them to vote for particular candidates. We can do texting banks. We can do phone banks. I personally don't like phone banks, but and something else we can do is we can all do it together. So let me know if you want me to coordinate some sort of texting bank or letter writing bank that we can do maybe virtually but together, because this has got to end. We are now talking about the end of humankind. And I don't know, excuse my language, if people are bullshitting. All right, that's my really angry go get a message for today. Climate change, the climate emergency is here. It's now. We got to do something about it. And it's time to think about midterms and to stop this right now.